Good morning.
Good morning. You sound like you're on auto-tune.
I panicked because I put our intro script right here. And I put it on the wrong one. And I was like, oh no, what do I do? Hi, everybody. Welcome to AI for Anyone Live. I am Sami Zoss. And this is Tim Lockie from the Human Stack. And today, oh, go ahead.
No, go for
it. This was me panicking, not knowing if you had your notes up. So I was like, I got this. Today on this wonderful New Year's Eve, which happens to be my absolute favorite holiday of all time, we are going to talk about, we're episode 36 and we're doing something we've never done before. We're actually spending today doing like a big retrospective. We've got a few demos, but I thought, I love a good pun, so called it Hindsight is 2025. Raise your glass, which at some point I'm gonna find a way to sneak away. I texted Tim about 5 minutes ago and I said I'm going to pour myself. I was gonna do a champagne. I'm like, it's 10 o'clock. I was like, mimosa might work, and then I don't have champagne. But I do have. I'm staring at it. I have sparkling grape juice, like 4 bottles of it, because I go to children's New Year's Eve parties apparently, and I was like, they need to have something fun. So I'm gonna crack one of those open here in a minute.
I was just thinking while you were saying that a South Dakota mimosa sounds like Coors in lemonade.
If you look up a South Dakota martini, it's a beer with pickle in it. Right. Isn't that wild? Yes.
That is wild.
Mine would have just been cranberry juice and mimosa, but that's because I don't like, and champagne because I don't like orange juice.
Yeah. Well, happy old year. I feel like that's what you say at the end of the year, right? And then tomorrow we start saying Happy New Year.
Oh, it took me an unfortunate amount of time to realize what that was. That's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tradition I started about 30 seconds ago on LinkedIn.
30 seconds ago on LinkedIn. Clock it here, everybody.
Happy old year.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because the way you say some of these things is so goddamn like, oh no, that's the thing. I just didn't know it. Got it. Cool. That's fine. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Nope. That's just a Tim.
This is a thing, and I think you're going to relate to this. I only know things after I say them. So the big thing for me in life is to make sure I have a lot of venues where I say stuff, because that's where I learn. And yes, it's weird to learn from yourself because of what you say, but that is actually it's
like audibly processed in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Right? I think we talked about that yesterday. Okay. Before we get into today's episode, because I do really want to get into this, I have a couple things I want to say. Mm-hmm. One, we do have a special guest in the background that I'm going to pull forward. For those of you that don't know, I had a mini panic and was like, Tim's not going to show. I was like, he overslept. Something happened. I don't know what we're going to do. So naturally, I have to move to this because I have the thing in front of us here. But per usual, I was like, you know what? Is it really a wrap on a year if we don't bring in the one and only Dan Kershaw?
Yes, Dan!
Hey, everybody.
How are you,
Dan? I got to use his favorite.
I know.
Right? He loves it. Welcome, Dan. Happy old year.
Thank you. It is an old year. I'm looking forward to the new one.
Oh, I'm so excited. There's a couple other things I want to say today. I don't know if you guys are Stranger Things people, but I absolutely am. Today is the finale of like the whole Stranger Things series. It releases at 7.
Wait, it's over after today? This is the end.
Well, Duffer Brothers are talking about a spinoff, so don't get too excited.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
But what I love, one thing I got this from, it's Stranger Things hair clip.
Of course.
That was a gift this year.
Actually, you need to have hair for it to matter.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Powered by AI and coffee. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, that's very funny.
You got to flip your camera. It's all reversed.
I know. I'll figure it out another day. That sounds stressful. And then the last thing I want to show you guys that I got, this was my present to myself.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. Is that a Jones hat?
That's a Nate Jones original.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. All right. I will show you the t-shirt that I ordered for Jenny to give to me on Christmas.
Oh my God, sorry. That really threw me off. That's awesome.
I can't be the only one that does that. Am I? Oh, okay. All right, good. Yeah. So
That's what made it so
I gotta make sure I've got this. Okay. So you won't be able to read it, but it says, I do not think, therefore I do not am.
Stop. That's the nerdiest thing. Oh my God. That's so funny.
I know. I really like it.
I was expecting the bottom to be something about iCloud code or something.
Oh, yeah, no.
I
Nothing about AI on there.
Code.
I don't know. I feel like
I feel like we got some human stack cards.
I feel like, yeah, I think that's true. Dan, do you want to? I didn't know that we were going to be doing like sharing what we like our Christmas haul here, but if you,
well, you got it when it's powered by AI and coffee.
It's brilliant. I love it.
That is such a good gift.
Yeah,
that's
no,
great.
it is. It's perfect.
Yeah, I just got given a gift. I'm just staring at it. It's I grew up with a love of wine, and my son-in-law just gave me a belated gift. It was a winery that doesn't have a traditional cellar. They actually bottle the wine and put it at the bottom of the Baltic Ocean.
Pause. Irrelevant to AI. What?
Yes.
I thought you meant seller, SELLER.
No, as in,
And
like, where you,
like,
where
what
you,
what do they do for distribution?
they've actually made it
What?
tourism.
What is this? Say it again, because yes.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay.
I'm gonna get it because, like, me talking versus showing. One
That's fair.
second.
Oh yeah. All right.
Tim, I thought the same thing. If that
You
makes
did.
better,
Okay. I was like, they don't have a cellar. Oh,
well, then my brain was like, wait,
that poor vineyard.
I'm like, wait, where's that one?
So we all know our wines, and they usually go in an oak casket. But
that's
these
generous
guys,
of you to think we all know our
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about Coors mimosas.
So you can see this. It's been sitting at the bottom of the Baltic Ocean.
Oh my gosh.
Becoming a champagne.
That is awesome.
So
you have this sitting around in your house.
This literally this came in.
Yikes, guys. Yikes. Just saying. Oofda. Oofda, as they say in my neck of the woods.
Okay, I gotta be honest. If I had a bottle like that, I would be telling everybody that I got it from the Titanic. I would, and I would say Titanic.
I can see little barnacles on the outside. Anyway, they've
That
also
is really
made
cool.
it. They've made it such that if we're in the area, we could actually go out and down and select our individual bottle. They've
Oh
actually
my
made
gosh,
it tourism.
that is cool.
Wait,
So-
you can go to the bottom of the ocean and pick your bottle?
Yeah, they'll put you in a sub with.
That
and you
sounds
go with,
miserable. What?
I know. Look, not everything's fun. I'll just happily go to the local store. And,
Man, I mean, how much is a cellar? I just gotta think, like, it can't be that much.
well, in terms of owning a winery. So,
This has gone to very uncharted territories for AI4AnyoneLIVE, which I love.
Well, I'll bring it
I'm
back
here
to
for
AI. So we
Of course
have,
you will.
we have,
Of course,
kids,
Dan will.
because it's so important.
I agree.
I'm very frustrated that everybody's like, anyway. Oh, the beagle is loose.
Whose dogs are those?
Is that? I thought those were yours, Sammy. Is that not yours?
Absolutely not.
No, that's our beagle. He likes golden
Yeah.
retrievers and
Awesome.
My
That's
beagle is
right.
currently just snuggling away over here.
But yeah, our kids are away, and my wife has a tradition of taking pictures every year of the kids. So we have a picture of our kids every year since they started joining us, and the tradition continues. But now we've got adults that are in different places. Sorry for the beagle.
I'm dying.
I know. I love the beagle. Like,
So good.
You make
that
a lot
is.
My dog came out. He's like, what is you want to kiss?
Yep, the golden retrievers have passed.
All right.
He's
Anyway,
so
we needed Nano Banana came to the rescue. We were able to merge all the photos that were sent to me and assembled it into a single group shot.
Oh, that's really cool.
Which
So you made like a composite.
Yeah, And so
awesome.
we did it in the local coffee shop, and everybody who couldn't be with us suddenly was part of the coffee shop.
That's really cool. Yeah, I love that.
So, but yeah, doing lots of Substacking, and I think that's the big gift was time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have the day job of running Furniture Bank, and I could spend time thinking and writing. Substack.
Yeah, I really love what you're doing on Substack, Dan. So look, if you're not following Dan on Substack, go to Substack, find him. Like,
I realize it's like if you've been on Substack, there's people who are like, I got 20,000 subscribers. I talk about AI and all that stuff. I realize I'm like, I talk about AI in nonprofits aimed at executives who are actually trying to do the work inside organizations. I'm not certain. I believe you are my only 2 paid subscribers.
I am a proud paid subscriber, and I'm glad to be one of the first because that will not last. That you will have lots of them.
I find walking around the problem.
You don't have to pay. Like,
no, you don't. It's all free.
Listening, that's an option.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for the gift. But I find it's therapeutic because, like Tim, me being live helps walk around the problem, walk around the ideas. And I'm seeing, I've been putting AI to work at Furniture Bank since the summer before ChatGPT. And I get it. I'm trying to figure it out. But then I watch it collide with my staff, who are amazing. But you bring their experience, their cognitive experience. Tim, Mara, hi. Live web stream.
Oh, love that.
Thanks, son. I'm on a live web stream it's called a live web stream.
I'm gonna mute him. That's hilarious. I'm gonna let him explain that.
Yeah.
I muted you, Dan. Sorry. I do want to, though, Dan, I confess I have done what I think is a really good job, and it also probably stresses me out a little bit, really stepping away the last couple of the last week for sure. But I tried really hard. This is one of the only things that was a pre-planned I will be back on and doing for this. Otherwise, I've really just been trying to step away for the last couple of weeks. And so I haven't really gotten on to Substack. I get the notifications when you post. I get the notifications when Nate and Jonathan Edwards and all of our people post. But I'm intrigued, did you dive into any of what we're talking about today, which is sort of what does the year of 2025 look like in AI? And what has that transformation been to you? And if you haven't, between the three of us, what are some of those wow moments from the year? I mean, what stands out? When you look back on 2025, what's going to stand out this year for you?
I think the big thing for me is that this year was the last normal year we'll have. That the speed at which things are now rolling out from all of our platforms, like the Google Workspace, there's a button that says organize. It's it can organize my files finally.
I still haven't done that.
No, I've pressed a button. I'm standing back.
It is amazing.
I've seen projects is about to show up inside of Google, and
workflows,
Notebook LM integration to Gemini.
What's crazy though, Dan, is half the stuff you've said so far we haven't even touched on this show.
Oh, I know, but the speed.
These are on the last month.
Oh, and they aren't even available in Canada yet. Megan,
welcome.
So the 2025 was there's a new tool, there's a new model, there's a bunch of nerds, we play with it. There'd be a lot of YouTube videos saying, here's how this thing works. So it was talking about, here's a new Swiss Army knife, isn't it cool? And when I say this is the end of the last normal year we have, is we're now able to go past the tool and go into the implementation and invent and create and collaborate with the individuals and the teams to actually do the work. And if you go deep into agents and all those things, all the actual systems, they're moving even faster. So I know the human stack is about the people, and that's why I'm doing what I do, is because all of the people, we have 1.2 million charities Between our two countries, they represent over 6% of the gross domestic product of the charity. They're bigger than the retail sector. And our sector is just not prepared, to take advantage of the potential. And I think that, sorry, I'm on a little bit of a stump. People in my seat are expected to do what is most impactful for the organization and their mission. And I watch my peers sit on the sidelines waiting. We'll wait till there's a checklist for doing AI, and then I'll get around to it. And yet, if I did something like, I'm not going to use computers, I'm not going to use efficiency, I'm not going to do these things, they would remove me and replace me somebody who would. And yet, this particular topic of putting AI to work in responsible, beneficial, and useful ways has people get polarized and paralyzed. So there are organizations that are going to move much, much faster, in part because they're on podcasts like this. They're reading, they're learning, and they're seeing the potential to really transform their organizations. But I really worry about the sector where the majority are going to wait because they're waiting for, I want it on CD. Oh, gee, I just aged myself there.
Yeah, you did. Wow.
But there's this paralysis that we're going to see organizations race up and to the right, but the large majority are going to get trapped. And the dynamics in the funding landscape is going to harm the majority of charities and nonprofits because their funders are going to go to the shiny object, which is innovation and things. They're slow. I've been wanting them to fund this work for years. I think this is the year where you're going to see them start to show up.
Okay, I totally appreciate that. I am going to pull us back.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know Tim's going to have thoughts. I know I have thoughts. But I want to take a moment because I know the three of us are constantly talking about this topic. But this episode, like, that is for the end of or a future episode, right? Like, what I really want to get into today is, like, what did this year look like? What are the big things that happened this year? Like, I think about the fact that, like, half of the tools you just said, I have such imposter syndrome today because there's so many things that I have not stayed on it the last month. And I'm like, I'm so behind. I know that's not true. I just know we can doom into that, right? Where, like, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, okay, I'm going to doom into this. Today's not about, like, the daunting of 2026. It is about the progress of 2025 and the excitement or the possibility of 2026. And I think the reason why it's really important that people hear that that is a differentiation we're trying to make today is because it is so easy to get caught in that loop, Dan. Like, I don't forsake you for thinking that way naturally right away. Like, that's all I was thinking about this morning. But the other piece of me is a little bit like, screw that. I didn't even know Gemini before the beginning of this year. Like, that's cool as hell. I just built while we were talking. So this is a little more than I was planning to do at this moment. I built a deep research for us today. And from that research, kills me. From that deep research, I built a little timeline view that then, like, learn how to implement. Cool. I added the Gemini. These are all things that I did in the last 10 minutes, you guys. Like, I didn't even know what Gemini was at the beginning of the year. And I think about that and what 2025 has looked like and what we can do for nonprofits to see it only goes up, right? Like, because I think that's one of the best ways to inspire action is to show like capability and access is not that hard. So I'm going to force you both. I want to hear what is, like, your biggest aha or holy hell moment from the year. Like, what?
Can I narrow that down and say, I want to break this up into quarters and say from quarter one last year,
It's
right?
almost like that's exactly what I did in our research. I think that's great.
Perfect. But what and I think you were just about to say this, what I'm saying is not where did AI go, but where did you, Sami, where did you, Dan, and where did I, Tim? What did quarter one look like for you last year? Right?
Yeah, no, I think
so. I'll go first on that, and I'll say the same
like
thing.
Quarter 1 25 to quarter 1 26. 24?
Nope, quarter 1 25, just quarter one, from January to March, right?
I'm there.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. So in quarter 1 2025, a year ago, I was just looking at Replit. I was just getting started on some Replit stuff.
You had just launched the Upskillerator.
We had just launched the Upskillerator kind of as a joke. Honestly, I was like, I want a place where I can just grab some friends and we can just go. And then that worked way, way differently than I thought it would. I had a life upset and ended up in Bellingham, Washington for 5 weeks at the beginning of the year. And in March, I had a client that was looking at Gemini a lot. And I was like, Gemini is a joke. I hate it. Everybody hates it. If you ask Gemini to write something and you ask ChatGPT or Claude to write something, Gemini is the worst, Claude's the best, but ChatGPT is the most accessible, right? So that's where I was in 2025. One other thing I'll say is I think I've told you about this. I wrote a bot that helped an organization raise $20 million in a week. I wrote it overnight in 15 hours.
In Q1?
In Q1. Yep.
What the hell have we been doing since then?
So why are you doing that case study?
I can't say much about that case study, unfortunately.
Sure. Sorry, that's a marker. You sure can.
No, anyway, that was that was a wild, like there was a lot of upheaval going on in my personal life, but then also just a lot going on. And that quarter, the highlight of Q1 was getting to know both of you really well. Like hands down, that was the best part of Q1. That's where I feel like
to me about Google.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Multiple things we're glad we listened to you about, Dan. So, okay, that's my Q1.
Dan, I just figured this about you. Don't you do that to me?
No, I was saying that to Tim. I know you're wiser.
I'm the brains behind this operation, guys. Quit it. It's fine.
Dan, all right, Sami, brains behind the operation. You're next.
Oh, okay. So Q1, I was using AI. I was less thinking about AI from the perspective of what it can do sort of like at scale. I was really like project by project, chat by chat focused. And I think that's the important piece. I was exploring in all of the different tools. Like that was a normal thing. But what I wasn't doing was thinking or was utilizing the limited at the time abilities to grow those pieces and scale them across multiple conversations or the memories piece. I was just starting to kind of tap into ChatGPT's ability to hold my memories. And that was the only version of that scaling that I really had or applied because I didn't know, but I can see, I was looking through my chats. I tried to pull them up while we were talking here, just be like, what was I asking ChatGPT around this time last year? Right. Like, and I don't know if have you guys seen that ChatGPT does like your year with ChatGPT?
Yep.
So have either of you done it?
I have not.
Well, here, oh, cute. Your year in poetry. You built systems with soul, not just code, where clarity, humor, and purpose flowed. From the jar's bold events to your own clean design, you turn chaos to rhythm, precision to shine. The Jar is a pickleball club that I clearly have spent far too much time searching recently. That's so funny. But yeah, I think for me, I can see how I was hyper-focused on making one chat stream work instead of what we can do now, which is utilize different tools to really kind of like amplify that across multiple. So you don't get that degradation of purpose in a chat because you can actually utilize that chat specifically for that thing. And you don't have to like, okay, now I need to make sure, like, forget everything before except for the context that I gave you here, and we're gonna keep talking. Okay. You know, like that for me was a huge piece. In my research, I do want to also pull, I have it set up by quarters as well. Dan's just wandering around.
I know.
I love it. I actually use Dan's clear research gem. Oh, they're just struggling. I used Dan's clear research gem to generate the research prompt that I used for today. And I had it generate the global milestone of the month and then the nonprofit sector win of the month. So in January, DeepSeek R1 release disrupts American tech stocks and resets cost expectations for reasoning models. And then the nonprofit sector win, there was a joint effort between WFP USA and IBM to launch a collaborative AI project to enhance city resiliency and food security mapping, which I think is fun. The way I ran this, I learned some new things along the way. February, the global milestone, the EU AI Act prohibitions on unacceptable risk systems went live. And then in the nonprofit sector, one of the larger pieces of news was Blackbaud actually had just rolled out its Agents for Good, which is an agentic AI suite designed to automate the things we do in the nonprofit sector. And March is where I think we all really stepped in and started to see this in Q1. Google releases Gemini 2.5, and the AI mode is introduced to Google search. For the nonprofit sector, there was a state of TechSoup and Tap Network released the State of AI and Nonprofits 2025 report. But I think seeing Google Gemini 2.5 being released, and then really that AI mode introduced to Google search, I think is an untalked about milestone in this year. Because then it started, there's a little bit of a dichotomy there though, because people are like, I just don't want AI shoved in my face. And that's a completely fair thing. There's also this habit of it is really helpful. And the way I even search in Google now is different. Because I'm like, oh, I know that there's an AI mode above my search. I'm just going to type like I would in Gemini. And then I don't have to start a conversation. I don't have to have an account. I don't have to do this and that. And here we are. So from that perspective, that's the Q1 overview from the world there, which is kind of interesting. I mean, any thoughts there? Or Dan, anything from your Q1? Oh, sweet Dan. I muted you a long time ago. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
There you go. Now you're unmuted.
Hey, I'm back. It's okay. I'm sitting with the dogs now. They're happy.
They're chilling.
They're chilling now that I'm with them. Yeah, back in Q1, it was really exploring for myself, my productivity loop and things like that. We were in the Microsoft stack at the time, and I'm seeing the things. I'm like,
is that what you just said?
Yes. And we decided we're going to escape back to Google. And so we did that work, finished going into Q2, we were back in the Google ecosystem. For all of the
year? You did that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
We'd used Google in the past, and then they said we have to be in the Microsoft stack for security and all that stuff. And
Microsoft does have some good security stuff.
They do, yeah.
What is it?
I don't know what that is.
Do you hear it, Tim? Oh no, it's him. Yep.
That's our coffee maker.
On the record, Sami. Zoss, no technical issues this morning.
But I do. You're commenting. I do spend a lot of my time staying in touch with what's going on in the world around us. Usually in the macro and the for-profit space. Because, I often use the analogy, it's like the tailwinds. If you see where it's going, many of us can just, if that's this now, 3 months, 4 months, a year from now, it's going to be this. So I find that's an important part of 2025, is just watching how AI's, the Cold War is back, and it's about AI. Right now, if
leave it to Dan to keep bringing it back to just doom and gloom. My gosh.
Look,
Nathan.
Let's be clear. If somebody is looking for a GPU for their computer gaming, they got to pay $5,000 for a top of the line one, because there's a chip war going on.
Also, I can talk to my assistant on my way to work, and that's dope. My way to work. My bed.
Here.
In that
and the other, over the summer going into Q2, Q3, it was multimodal. Previously, it was all top texting. My fingers were tired. And then I think Tim showed me voice in an accelerator, and I dabbled. I'm like, okay. And then I started finding that Maven course where Tyler's just talking at his computer.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, I'm doing that. So I'm over 160,000 words that I didn't have to get carpal tunnel for, that I could take what's up here, get it out into whatever form it had to become. So I think that's another big one.
Yeah. So that moves us into Q2, right? And so I'm gonna read a little bit of what I wrote up on Q2, just sort of in the world, which was the second quarter was defined by the transition from AI as a search engine to AI as a research partner. And this is where Dan's expertise in particular in our group really just came in and like hit the ground running, right? In May, deep research was introduced with Gemini, allowing users to conduct complex multi-source investigations that produce grounded, cited reports in minutes rather.
I gotta
Tim,
say,
I
that
can
is
hear
the
you
loudest
drinking that.
swallow. Your microphone.
I muted him. I was like, that is not a noise I can do.
Is my mic super hot today? It must be.
I did try to message you. I literally said, like, your volume got real intense and I can now hear every intake.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I'm going to go adjust my settings. I'll be right back.
It's okay. It was fine until the drink. We literally heard, and I was like, oh my gosh. I can't wait to read the transcript on that one. A little note on that deep research, though. This capability transformed the grant writing process. Development teams can now use AI to synthesize years of impact data against specific funder priorities with unprecedented accuracy, right? And that accuracy has definitely only grown since Q2. In the greater world, Anthropic released Claude 4 in May, further escalating the agentic coding competition. To Dan's credit. For nonprofits, the rise of vibe coding, a trend where non-developers build functional prototypes using natural language, began to bridge the digital divide. Small orgs that previously lacked the budget for custom app development started building internal tools for volunteer coordination and impact tracking using these natural language development environments. I've got some note on law, and I'm going to get into that in a second, but I want to note that it was really at that point that we all looked and we were like, wait a minute. Nonprofits don't realize they can do this, right? So that then became, in some ways, the birth of AI4AnyoneLIVE. And it was Q2, Q3 that we really launched this last year, looking into how do we bring the most basic version of, hey, did you know you could do this thing? And it started with Gemini. We've not really left Gemini yet. And to Google's credit, we don't get nothing from them. Let me be so for real. For the record, Google, you are welcome to give us whatever you want. But we didn't ask for anything. We don't have anything. It's just Google is such an accessible tool. And they are continually, and we talk about this a lot of episodes, they continually and kind of subtly just slowly take over and enhance in the market in a way that we felt there was a lack of programming or education on, which is what we do here. But there's also a lack of like understanding of what's new and what's usable. And so that's where like the vibe coding, we're like, that thing that I just showed you guys, we jaw dropped at that when we first were able to do that. And now we're like, yeah, it's cool, but it's more cool because Sami thought of the idea, less cool because you can do it, because now we all know that you can do it.
Sami, let me build on that. It's now becoming the expectation that you come with that, not just have a good idea.
Absolutely.
And which it's changing some of the dynamics in organizations, that people with great ideas can take them much further and bring them to their team, to their development, and then there's actually interaction. And that's,
absolutely.
Which Tim parlayed into, let's use Gemini's canvas to make a vintage arcade game, which for me is a brilliant unlock for those people who are like, it's not for me. I don't do AI.
Another big, well, I've got to say on that, one of the things I learned as a trainer, educator, adoption specialist on AI is to avoid getting people to do their jobs with AI when you're training them. So this is a big cheat code. That's what people think they want. Everybody that talks to me about doing AI education tells me it needs to be relevant, needs to be exactly show them how to do their jobs. And I tell them, I won't do that. Instead, I will open up their imaginations, and I promise you they will be excited about it at the end. And one of the main reasons for that is if you can get people to do something they thought was impossible, then it does something else. If you put them in their job role with AI for the first time, they're going to hit the uncanny valley combined with job security, and they will be locked up emotionally about what they're seeing on their screen, right?
Absolutely.
So for those of you that are helpful. Okay, the thing I want to mention, a big highlight for Q2, there were several. The Maven course was one. I'll give some honorable mentions here. Maven course was one. Another one was doing an AI training at the marketing summit. I thought was actually really eye-opening to me to see how many people were interested. But April 16th, Sami hopped on with me and said, I'm going to start this thing called AI4AnyoneLIVE. Let's do it together. And we did our first AI4AnyoneLIVE. April 16th. I thought we started in June, but it was all the way in April. We must have been talking about this in March because there was a couple of weeks of run up to it. So
I think I had just presented the Notebook LM thing, and I was like dumbfounded at how many people hadn't used it. And I was like, pause.
Yeah,
we got time.
Yeah,
that's still my tell of where our people is. Have you used Notebook LM? Have you done a deep research?
Yep.
And Megan, I see you're calling yourself a beginner, but you're probably using deep research.
Yeah,
I would probably using. So you can't use to self-identify a beginner anymore because there's still 95 people of the next 100 that don't even AI equals ChatGPT, let alone hitting the extra buttons in the bottom to do all the really amazing things.
I will say for my Q2, I'm looking through some of my old chats now, and I use AI for a lot of my like chaos personal life, and this is one of the first times that I had a conversation with ChatGPT. And it says, okay, tomorrow's April Fool's and I need some good shit. I don't mean your run-of-the-mill, could have Googled it shit. Like, I want stuff that's curated to what you know about me, my community, all my people, and I want like 8 bajillion awesome April Fool's options for the whole damn day. It didn't actually get me very good ones. And so I'm going to run this exact same prompt this year and see like what a year later would look like. But that just cracked me up. I mean, and it calls out specific people I was talking to. Like I was really working with one of my colleagues here in town who runs a cupcake shop. And so there's some like funny cupcake-esque ones for Melissa, and AI shenanigans, create a playful bot that delivers humorous advice of the day. And I'm like, that's not helpful at all. Just those, I was like, so funny that like those were the sorts of things. And I still do use AI for those sorts of things too. Like I'm driving and I'm thinking of this thing and now I want to brainstorm it. I just love the sort of like a cross application of it. I am going to move us into Q3 because we are already at 10:43, 9:43.
Oh my gosh.
Where you
what?
Are. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to keep us booting. Third quarter saw the convergence of AI and the physical world. In August, Google released its Pixel 10 series, marketed as the first truly proactive AI device, capable of managing complex schedules, surfacing contextually relevant mission data in real time, which for field workers, this meant like having a proactive assistant that could cross-reference things like donor records with live program site data on the fly. Huge, huge thing. But it was really more like niche, right? Like I didn't really even get into that because I don't have a Google Pixel 10, right? Not as helpful. But Q3 is really when infrastructure spending reached that fever pitch. With Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon projecting a combined $400 billion in capital expenditures. The surge was the engine behind the launch of Gemini Robotics in September, which introduced agentic AI into the physical world, enabling robots to reason through complex environments with native multimodal understanding, which is like wild. So what that means, right? Like I wrote that in a very like, how do I say this in a paragraph sentence? But you guys, that's where you saw the like robots trying to do household chores to see like, does this work? So you take this idea that generative AI is of like, what are they asking me and what is the general idea of what they want from that request? Because I'll say things like, I want 8 bajillion jokes, and obviously it's not going to actually give me bajillion, but then it says, okay, so here's what I think it wants me to do. Here's how I think I do that thing within the confines of this space. Super awesome. Go ahead, Dan.
I just want to build on it. This is also the moment where Google introduced what's called a world model. So every AI, I'm sure there were others beforehand, but the majority of the AI apps that we were all interacting with were just trained on words. So it was really good at any word interaction. Google's model for robotics is built around a world model where it actually understands 3 dimensions and physics, and it's not trained on words alone. And I remember when Tim and I were playing with the new drop of, it wasn't Nano Banana at the time, but Google's Image, it had that world model embedded in Q3. And we were trying to rotate and create aerial views. And I think everything's sort of compound. You remember that one, right,
I
Tim?
remember that.
Oh gosh,
I remember him calling me at like 10 at night to walk me through what you guys were going through. Like,
it was so cool.
So yeah. All of the models now are chasing world, integrating world. So, where things are, how they like, and now we can interact with the models that way. So everything sort of compounds. Yeah, Q3 was pretty wild. And I hired, for Furniture Bank, we hired our AI Forward fundraiser.
Ooh,
I remember helping you fine tune the job description for that.
Yeah.
You sent it to me and I was like, terrible at job descriptions. There's nothing I'm going to add to this. And sure enough, I was like, actually, yep. I know exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I got the easy 80%.
Yeah.
And then you help get the hard 20%.
Okay. I want to make an observation here as you're talking through these things. I'm thinking through where I really picked up traction for myself personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2024, the place that I went to learn about AI was TikTok. Hands down, TikTok was the best instructor. That's how I found Sabrina Romanov. That's how I found Nate Jones. I would go in and I would find these listicles of all these different systems. I would bookmark them and I would go in and I would spend 2 days going through 15 different systems. I would just pay for them, 1 month subscription, whatever, keep the ones I liked, scrap the ones I didn't, right? In 2025, all of the major things I learned about came from you two. At least 90% of what I learned in 2025 came from the two of you. AI Cred, Dan, that came from you. Nate Substack, I was following Nate. I had even hired Nate, right? So Nate and I were doing coaching.
Nate was your coach, yeah.
And I was not paying attention to his Substack because my working model in life is to find people and hang out with them. I got to interview Sabrina Romanov on site at a thing in Utah. That was amazing.
So fun. But
the Maven course where I learned all about prompting, actual real prompting and what that looked like, that came from you, Dan. Gemini, I was ignoring it, sleeping on all of it. I still didn't really like Notebook LM until it came out with the advanced video feature. That came from you, Sami. And that's...
Feel free to call me her.
That cycle, I feel like there's a narrative here that we need to pay attention to, which is you're going to learn from other people. Like that is the thing that I feel like people are missing.
Reference.
Yeah, you're going to learn from the human stack.
That's funny. I didn't even notice that.
And that includes the Upskillerator, because you guys came to Upskillerators and played such a key role in helping figure out the direction, what we're going to study, taking over if I was going to miss. I feel like there's a lot there. And so, yeah. I just want to point that pattern out because there's a lot that I learned, but
and I'm finding the same thing, Tim, that we all have a premium placed on our time, and we don't have the opportunity to just broadband scan and hope we find something. So when I've got, like, I need X, I'll go to Sami, I'll go to Tim, I'll go look at Nate. Now I've got Jonathan with his ideas. And then I'll go invert what all the for-profits are doing, because they have to be creative, but most of their ideas are, with some modifications, equally applicable in our world. But a lot of it's people, because we've already filtered, this works, this doesn't, don't waste your time. Like, that is going to be the value. And that's one of the reasons I'm hoping this coming year is to be able to go in person to conferences with people that are talking about, grappling is the word I like to use, these issues.
Yep.
I wish I could make this full screen, this thing. I want to end our Q4 piece using this, because there's a few things that I've like accidentally found as I was trying to pull it up for you guys, which I think is so funny. So as I built this, I used some of the suggestions. I almost always hit this button, which is add Gemini features, just to see what Gemini adds to it. I don't know if the sound is shared, so we'll find out. But it has a little sound here, which I think is awesome. And it just reads this once it
Moving
goes.
past completion into true mission execution.
Don't know why it put sound just on that piece, but I think that's so funny. So I want to talk through Q4 as we do it sort of like on here, because we talked a lot about this, particularly Tim, well, really the three of us. I mean, we talked about like, okay, we've spent the year playing, like, how do we execute using what we've learned? But what really just threw me off here in the middle of all of this, right, was for those of us that struggle on how to articulate to our board what it is we're trying to do here. This little guy's got a little, it'll just generate a whole board briefing on Q4 for your, I just watched it. It'll pop up here in a second. That was wild to me. So yeah, here's what we're moving beyond. Like, so here's what it would look like for us to do this. What the hell?
Didn't render the markdown.
Oh, that I have no idea. I never worry about the markdown because I'm always putting it somewhere else. But I was like, what the hell? This is so cool.
Yep.
That wasn't something that I'd put in here. But so then this learn how to implement, this is for each of them, right? So would you want a governance draft, which we would, so if we had time to work into this a little bit more, which you can see us live building these things, that's the fun part about what we do. I can hear Tim talking about, like, we don't start with governance, we start with people. So it's like, we wouldn't actually start with agentic governance. We would talk about what the, like, who's running this system and what are we trying to do with it as humans first. So you can build governance around anything, but trying to build things around governance first is never the approach that we would suggest because it doesn't work. So like, there's pieces of this, right, that I want to clarify as we're building. This is live, right? Like, we're building it with you in a lot of regards. But I love something like this, right? So it's like, where is it going to be stored? Like, I love that it's saying, like, hey, get your ducks in a row first. But then here's a simple low-risk ops loop to fulfill. Create yourself an assistant that you're going to spend the next year updating, iterating, and improving. And here is what it's going to do for you. And, like, I love that. I think that's such an important... This, like, reminds me of, like, a version of what Jonathan was doing, right? Of, like, here's how you implement this quarter, the things from here in the next year, which I love. And then if you wanted to put in, it's roots Ethiopia, right? I want to see what the personalized looks like. Because I just added that while we were talking this last time of, like, the Gemini feature of personalize my strategy. No idea. Look at that.
Oh, that is very cool.
There you go, Megan. I'll send it to you.
Can you hit plus on that 2 times, like increase the font size twice? That'll do 2 things. One, I can read it, but it'll also, if you adjust the overall size of it, it will take over the entire screen.
Does it?
Yep.
Oh, so it wasn't 2 times.
Yeah, sorry. A couple times. Oh, that's so much better. Now I can read it.
That's because you have your teeny tiny little screen.
Yeah, exactly. It is true.
It's on you, brother. Anyway, I just want to note, like, how awesome some of this is, right? And then the last piece that I want to show you guys, and I want to end on this, and we do need to end soon. I made a little 2026 crystal ball.
Oh, that's funny.
And it's just like random forecasts. I think these are really vague. If I would, if we really spent time developing this idea of this animation, like autonomous, I would argue we've been doing that for years. It just looks different with AI, stuff like that. Like that's not necessarily a crystal ball thing, but I do love the idea that we were trying to generate here. And so I wanted to show you guys, and I want to end on like, give me one. What is either needs to be at the top of the list for 2026, or like, you know what? No, I want your what's the off of the wall. No one is gonna see this coming, but this is gonna happen in 2026. I don't want to hear about how we need to focus on this or something. Like, I want to hear that the robots are gonna start like delivering our mail, or just like that's not that far off. Actually, that's probably not crazy. But you know what I mean? Like, give me just a wild off the beaten path. What's something that crazy prediction for 2026? Think like your YouTube sketch comedy people predicting 2026 as it relates to AI. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody knows what we think's gonna, like, they get it. We're smart people. We know smart things. We have smart predictions. Now I want to know what our dumb predictions. What's our dumb prediction for 2026? That's what I'm gonna start calling them. Dumb predictions and happy old year. Yeah, those are the poll quotes from today's episode. What are your dumb predictions? I bet we get one that starts trying to translate your dogs. What they want. Not full translation.
Right, yeah. No,
but like hear your dog's barks and whines, and like kind of like your babies, you start to know like what type of cry is they're hungry versus they're tired. There's going to be an AI version of that for your dogs. There's my crazy AI prediction for 2026.
Yeah, I'd take that bet. They're talking to whales and sparrows already, so it's only a matter of time.
See?
I think the robots and things, we're going to start to see them.
More physical world application of the AI?
In places we didn't expect to see them. Like there's all of the sizzle reels of little, wandering around on stage floors and things. But they're going to appear in all shapes, sizes, and show up in businesses that we frequent oftenly. Oftenly, that's a new word. I think we're going to see it a lot sooner. Not everywhere, but it's when you listen to the podcast, like that is absolutely a priority for the for-profits out there, is to put robots at work.
Crazy. Tim, what about you?
I think the skill of metacognition is going to blow. People that are good at metacognition are going to leapfrog way in front of everybody else over the next 2 years.
You and I, Sami, because we don't know what metacognition is.
Also, both of you are not having fun with this. I'm disappointed.
I am. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is intent and memory are going to replace prompt and context. So I agree with you, Sami, that what's going to happen is that we are going to do with animals and other behaviors what we've done with generative AI. Generative AI is just predictive AI pointed at human behavior and words. And it is getting better at understanding the difference between what we say and what we mean. So that is, that, and then memory is the actual limiting factor on agents. So as people get better at building memory scaffolding and AI gets better at intent recognition and outcome outputs, you're going to see that AI can be pointed in a lot of different directions. And then, like Dan already said, the place I think that IoT, Internet of Things, and robotics and AI are going to start, the place that you're going to see that, people are going to build like crazy on top of robots that are already in almost every house, which is Roombas, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Those
I was
are
thinking Alexas.
nope. The Roombas are actually the first robots that are widespread. People have just they don't even
Accepted.
think of those as robots. They just think of them as like automated brooms now, right? And there's a high amount of AI going on in those, all of those.
And I think
I'll give you credit for the Roomba, but neither of you were like fun in your answers. I'm translating dogs, Tim. You're like, oh, people are gonna think about thinking.
I think we're going to see a lot more medical inventions and scientific breakthroughs that were driven and led by AI. Yeah.
Okay, but you know what we're not going to see is freaking flying cars, and I feel so cheated in life that those still don't exist. Because as a kid, I feel like Popular Mechanics promised me a freaking flying car that looked like a Ferrari. None of this,
I'll second that. Yeah.
Oh,
but
right.
You know how hard it is just to lift one of us, let alone.
I don't care how hard it is. We've done all sorts of hard things. How do we not have flying cars yet?
It's the magnets. On that note, that was a much better end, Tim. Thank you. Lesson of the year: tech is magical, but the mission's human. I think that's like my favorite way to put it. I snuck and opened my sparkling grape juice so I could chew.
Don't drink it too fast.
Oh, Dan's going to open his Titanic bottle.
I panicked. I thought that was about to overflow. That does not taste as good as I remember. Cheers to the old year. Cheers to the new year.
Happy old year. And thank you so much for everybody watching, especially Megan. You are absolutely our #1 fan. You get first merch whenever we do merch. You are going to get first merch. Thank you so much. And for those of you that like hop in and watch, sometimes you lurk, you pay attention to what we're doing. Thank you so much. It's been really interesting to watch our views go up over this time. And then I think Dan and I both need to say, Sami, thank you so much for having the idea behind AI4AnyoneLIVE and for being the executive producer that figures out all the details. It is amazing. I cannot believe that we are at 36 episodes already.
Crazy.
That puts us over the line of demarcation for sticking to a podcast or a live show. Thank you for all of the hours of hard work that have gone into making this happen.
It's super fun. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to watch next year and be like, oh my God, I can't believe our episodes look like that. Or we're like that. So I'm super excited. Yep. And to everyone listening live or later, please comment wherever you're listening what you want us to cover in 2026.
Yeah.
Because we're going to keep going. Every Wednesday, 9 Mountain, 10 Central, 11 Eastern. And if you're on another time zone, you figure it out yourself because, my God, there's so many time zones.
But Dan, it's like 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah, Dan confuses. He's on some time zone that we don't have in the U.S. Which really throws me off. Though. Anyway, please comment anywhere you're at that you want, right? Because otherwise, you guys get whatever I decide we're covering that week. And usually we stick to Google, but we are happy to explore other areas. Google just keeps improving, and like we said, it's a low barrier to entry for nonprofits. But please. I would rather provide content that's interesting for you guys. If you've got a use case for your specific nonprofit that you want us to literally live workshop on this, that's what this is for. You saw us type in Roots Ethiopia. I'm going to now send that to Megan, who's the executive director of that organization. Just some of that stuff. So I'm really excited. I know we're going to do some work with the South Dakota Nonprofit Network live next year. There's some other pieces there, but until then, I hope you all have a wonderful celebration tonight. For those celebrating the real holiday of Stranger Things finale, it's got a theatrical release. It's in the theaters tonight. Yeah, if y'all are not on the Stranger Things train,
that was a sarcastic face. I feel like you missed it, so I need to point it out.
Oh my gosh, whatever. I love you all. Tim can eat it, and I am so excited to see you all next year.